Hey everybody! So my microphone in my microphone input on my GoPro doesn't work. My USB-C port is broken. It only charges, but it doesn't do data. And in addition, my cell phone also has a broken 3.5mm jack, so I can't use the mic input on either. So I'm gonna be giving you all a bike tour of the nightlife available to you in beautiful Manhattan. I'm not sure if this works. I'm using my normal DPA 4065 and I'm recording it into this little Zoom recorder that I have. So I have this Zoom recorder that I got a while back as a backup audio recorder. And it actually works with the DPA 4066 or 4065 microphone. Has a plug power or phantom power or whatever it is that this thing uses. So I'm gonna ride around the city and just kind of give you an idea what the nightlife in Manhattan looks like right now for those of you who wish you could make it to the beautiful, wonderful city of New York but haven't had the opportunity to see what it's like in person. So I'm gonna just go through around where Penn Station is. We're gonna go from there to where Times Square is, and you'll see for yourself what it's like. So this is 28th Street and 8th Avenue. And a few blocks up, we're going to be seeing Penn Station and also Madison Square Garden. Now, usually this area has bumper-to-bumper traffic everywhere. And as you can see, there's nothing. So there's no traffic at all. We usually have bumper-to-bumper traffic from people, just working in Midtown, cabbing people back and forth in Midtown, going to Madison Square Garden or Penn Station, because Penn Station will take you anywhere. You can go to Maine, you can go to Baltimore, you can go to Philadelphia, you can go to the middle of the country. There's a train there for just about everything. But today, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Look at this. Absolutely closed. Just a couple of people waiting outside and that's it. Penn Station looks like a ghost town. This looks like something out of Resident Evil. Alright. Whew. So this is Hulu Theater at Madison Square Garden up there. And there's nothing there. Nothing at all. Oh, it's kind of cold tonight. This is the post office over here. This is one of the famous post offices because at the top it says, "Neither snow nor rain nor heat nor gloom of night stays these couriers from the swift completion of their appointed rounds." And you know why that is? It's because the postman rides with Ralph Cramden. Any of you who watch The Honeymooners and remember that episode where Ralph gets laid off, you'll know what I'm talking about. On my left is Tick-Tock Diner. I used to eat there anytime I got off work with my friend Jake if we had done an overnight shift. It's right by the New Yorker Hotel. Their food is absolute garbage, but they're right underneath the New Yorker Hotel, and they're open all the time, so they kind of, they make money anyway. That's it. All right, what do we have down here? As you can see, there's nothing in the streets at all. Absolutely nothing. Everything is closed. I see a Dunkin' Donuts still has their lights on. I guess donuts are essential. Donuts are essential in New York City. So only the essential businesses are allowed to stay open at the moment. You know what I should do? If there's a cop car right there, maybe, just maybe, I should at least pretend I'm using the bike lane. I'm a bicycle. A law-abiding bicycle. One thing you may notice is that there is a cop car on every single corner. Interesting pattern, because there's cops all over the city, but I'm not used to seeing a car on every single corner. This leads me to believe that they are planning to try and have block-to-block restrictions where people can walk. Maybe they'll be able to go outside in their block. But I think what they're planning to do, and this is just a guess, is make it so that you can't leave the block on which you live. Like there's going to be a cop at the end of each block that says you can't leave here. And when that happens, shit's really going to hit the fan. Because people are not going to be cool with that. But I've been noticing that pattern more and more often of having a cop car on the end of each block. Alright. That guy has a huge hub motor but no battery. Alright, this is Times Square. By the way, for those of you who are curious here, this is the New York Times building. New York Times, and that's Schnipper's Quality Kitchen Restaurant on the ground floor. Take a look. New York Times building. So there's a lot of business here. That's a Microsoft store. I'm pretty sure nobody shops there because it's a Microsoft store. Great job, Microsoft, being like 10, 15 years late on what Apple did there with having real retail stores for stuff. Good job. Lots of people are wearing masks. Not sure where they're getting them from. Every place here is sold out. I guess those are the people that are smart enough to figure out where to get them from. I mean dumb, because you don't need masks. But you need them, but you shouldn't buy them because they're not important. But you shouldn't buy them because there's a shortage of them and then the hospital workers won't have them. But they're not important, so... There's a good article in the New York Times on how the messaging on masks in the United States was a total fail. I recommend seeing. Alright, so this is the most people I've seen anywhere. It's a group of... Did I just say greep? Wow. What the hell am I on? Must be some good stuff in that Amtech Flux. So there's 2 or 3 people at the street corner. And this is honestly a record. I haven't seen this many in a while. Usually this is completely full. Usually. Key turn there, usually completely full. Alright, so what do we have here? That's a deli. They are essential. They're open. This is 8th Avenue and 43rd Street. So next block, I'm going to head over to Times Square. There's no cop here, so I can stop pretending that I'm in a bike lane. And I can also stop pretending that this is a bike. This is a bicycle the same way a MacBook is a durable computer. It's a bicycle. Alright, there's a strip club across the street that looks like it's closed. I guess that's not essential. That shit hasn't been essential for like 20 years now. You get porn straight to your computer for free. Alright, see? Phantom of the Opera. Ah, Julia, you dying. Ah, celebrity crushes. So hard to let them go. I've seen that so many times. Alright, what do we have next? So this is Broadway. This is where all the tourists are. Like, there's usually lines grouped outside of here constantly for people waiting for shows. And as you can see, not only are there no lines, there's no people. This entire block is empty, and this is absolutely unheard of in Times Square. The entire block is completely empty. I remember when I used to work in the Film Center building as an intern in 2007, walking past this restaurant and always saying, someday I'll make enough money to eat here. I made $0 and I was pursuing a job that would have made me $400 a month working at a studio, and like eating here is probably $100 for a meal. But I remember always saying, someday I'll afford to actually get a meal here. I think the first meal that I ate there was with my staff as a celebration in 2014 or 2015. I think it was 2015. All right, this is Times Square. Times Square right here. There's a guy playing the saxophone over there. Sounds pretty good. Last remaining flagship retail space. Yeah, something tells me that a lot of that's going to be empty. Remember all those places that said you're probably not going to find a better deal than this? Oh yeah, we'll just get another person in right after. Yeah, right after you leave, trust me, this somebody who's going to take this space. This is prime retail. Yeah, something tells me that they're going to be waiting for a long time. Like a... This guy's really good. Yeah, so you can see, this is Times Square. And this is totally empty. Like, I'm doing something you're not supposed to do. I'm going the wrong way down the street here, like salmoning in a bike lane. But I'll allow myself to forgive myself now, given that Times Square is literally just about empty. I mean, there's nobody here. So, not a single bicycle. I want to give you all a better view. Okay, somebody just sneezed by me, so I'm gonna fuck that, cross the street, get away from me, social distancing, social distancing. All right. Yeah, this is crazy. Look at that. Times Square, nobody here. Yeah, we got some stores over here that are closed. A Disney store, Forever 21, and there's no people. Nothing. Saturday night in Manhattan, nothing. I'll hit up some of the neighborhoods where the people are usually partying in a few, but you'll see they're closed too. There's nothing there. All right, let's hit up some of the more financial area, around like 6th Avenue, 48th, 49th. Alright, so here we are, 6th Avenue, Avenue of the Americas. Now, 8th Avenue is kind of more grungy. 8th Avenue is way more grungy. The 7th Avenue is in Broadway. In this area is kind of where all the touristy shit is. And here, on 6th Avenue, this is where all the financial, investment banking, you know, like headquarters for your multinational conglomerate, all that kind of stuff is. One sec, I just want to get my microphone properly situated. It's kind of falling off of my head right now. Sorry about the noise. Put this in my pocket. Alright, that's better. Much better. Okay. So, let's see what the financial center of the world looks like on a Saturday night. Okay, so we go over here, and yep, this is 47th Street. I think Radio City Music Hall is coming up soon. Yeah, Radio City's up there. Diamond Center, we buy gold and diamonds. I guess that's not essential right now. All right, look at this. I've never seen this before. It's a red light in the middle of the city, and I can just do a circle in the street. This is absolutely unheard of. This would be bumper to bumper traffic. I'd be getting steamrolled right now. But there's nobody here. Pret a manger, I see those everywhere. I used to think that place was called Pret-a-Manger. I never walked in because the name of it, the way that I was pronouncing it, Pret-a-Manger, it just sounded kind of like a pedophile, like Pret-a-Manger. Something about that just stuck with me. All right, this is where you can see the buildings start to get more expensive and people start to get more prissy. Like this over here, it's not 6th Avenue, it's 1221 Avenue of the Americas. Avenue of the... all these types of buildings. And as you can see, the whole thing is closed. Closed, nobody in there. Truly the zombie apocalypse if I've ever seen it. Alright, let's head down to, let's say, the East Village and the Lower East Side and see what's going on over there. Because my neighborhood used to be like lots of, kids partying and getting wasted. There's nothing to do in the East Village but get wasted. It's like bar, 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 restaurant, bar, 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 deli, restaurant, bar, deli, restaurant, bar, 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 laundromat, deli, bar. Shitty restaurant that's a front for a drug operation, bar. But, whoa, so, whew. Look at this, nobody. This little park area is all empty. Rockefeller Plaza right here. This looks really nice, I gotta say. Like, as much as I crap on New York City for being a shithole, this area of it does look nice. Because New York is kind of this, everything is ridiculously expensive here, and part of that is because all the companies here are very rich, and there's a limited amount of space. Everything here is kind of like really nice or really shitty. And every now and then it's kind of nice to travel to the parts of New York where everything looks really nice and just have a reminder that it's not every place that's really shitty. It's not like just my store where everything's really shitty or my apartment, but this is a nice looking church right over here. I'm not particularly religious myself, but I do appreciate the way these buildings look compared to the garbage that goes up nowadays. I'm sure everybody who built that building was Union. Alright. So this is Fifth Avenue. On Fifth Avenue is going to be where all of the fancy schmancy hoity-toity stores are. Like again, 8th Avenue is kind of the grungy stores. That's like where, bums like me would have a store. This is where you have, like, Michael Kors over there, Puma, Nike, Cole Haan, all these fancy schmancy companies that people buy shit from because they feel better about themselves as people. Scott Galloway puts it pretty well, There's a reason I'm paying $5,000 for a watch or something. I'm going to paraphrase what he said. I'm probably going to butcher it. You should listen to him directly. So I'm like, I'm not paying this much because it tells time better. I'm paying for it because it signals to other women that if you mate with me, your kids are more likely to survive. So fuck me instead of the other men because I have a nice watch. Like that's what this whole area is. Like Ann Taylor, Lululemon, Karen Millen, all this fancy schmancy shit. Yes. And as you can see, nobody's here. Nothing. Totally empty. Now we're coming up on the library in a few blocks, I believe. Yeah, between 40th and 42nd Street, I think is one of the largest public libraries in the country. My dad used to love going there for his research when he did research on things. Yeah, and surprised with the internet that it gets visited as often as it does. I would be curious for people watching. I went to public school, so they don't really teach much worth jack shit there. Or at least they don't teach it in the way that sticks. But what is it that you can get from the public, like one of these public libraries that you can't just get on the internet anymore? I'm really curious. Because this place looks beautiful. It really does. Like, honestly, I've had to go here for some research projects for my for a college project. But the thing I got out of it the most is just the feeling when you walk up to it. It looks absolutely beautiful. I'm confused here because there's a walk and there's a red light, and I'm not really sure what a bike is. So, take a look at this down here. You got Berkeley College. There's usually a lot of kids around there. Nobody. That's where Berkeley would be. This is the library. I used to wait for the X1 bus right down there when I used to have when I used to work at Avatar Studios. And every now and then I'd miss the bus on 53rd Street, and I would try to, if there was bad traffic, I would try to run down here and beat the bus. Those were the days. I really miss Avatar. I wish I had made visits more often, but I was too busy with work, and now it's gone, and I'm never going to get to go back there and say hello to the people. You know, Phil, Gretchen, Ricky, Roy. Like the people that were responsible for molding me into a half-decent technician. Never going to be able to give my thanks in person to the people in the place that made everything possible. That guy seemed to really want to pass me, so I let him. But I think this is going to be one of those things where he passed me and now he's going to go slower than me. That tends to be an Uber thing, I've noticed. I try not to salmon down the road when there's a bike coming in my direction at 20 miles an hour. That's an interesting New York thing right there. That guy did not care that I was coming right for him. He's like, I'm going to play a game of chicken and I'm going to win. Clearly the liquor store is still an essential service. All right, so let's make our way down around 28th Street now. It's so windy. I don't like when it's so windy that I can't even hear the cars around me. I like being able to hear them. You know, especially the Uber drivers. They always like to run you over. There is nobody here at this red, so I am going to be a New Yorker and just whoop, yoink. Whew. Alright, so this is the Flatiron building to my right. Some fancy schmancy building that they built a long time ago. Like, look at us, look at how tall we can make it. And they did. Check it out. It's tall, and it didn't fall down either. See that? Look, it's tall. My light actually goes all the way up the building. It's pretty cool. Paul picked out this light for me. I forget which one it was, but it was $15 on eBay. It took forever to arrive from China, but when it finally arrived, it is bright. Here, I don't know if you could hear in the background, there's a nutbag that's screaming in the park. He's probably screaming at the Corona. Maybe I should appreciate the people out there that are screaming at Corona. You know, make sure that virus knows who's who. Doesn't let us get it. You know? When I see those arrow bikes going, it's hard for me to tell just how much slower they are than this until I'm actually on the road. Because when I see them riding, I think, oh yeah, that's about a similar speed to me. But then I see them pedaling along at their Arrow 7 speed. Saddening. Woohoo! Alright, this is Union Square right here. Union Square, and it's totally empty. Crazy. Completely fucking empty. That guy's filming it too. I bet he can't believe how empty it is either. Yeah, I'll show you through the... That's Barnes & Noble over there. That's where people used to get books before the internet came out. Back when if you wanted to read a book, you actually had to go through 30-degree weather and wind chill to get your book. Those were the days. Whew! Now we live in a world where even if you have some shit like Time Warner Cable or Spectrum, you can just go online and get books. Up there we got a counter of how many cases of coronavirus are actually in New York City. So there's two different timers. There's the shit on the news, which is, we have 2,000 cases of coronavirus, as evidenced by the fact that the 1 out of 100 people that we actually gave a test to tested positive for it. And then you have the actual number, which I believe is up there. I think that's what they're counting. Look at that up there. They're counting. That's the number of coronavirus. It's a bunch of numbers above that building up there, above the Best Buy. Yeah, that shit is what kills me. I say, look, oh my God, there's an exponential increase in the amount of people with the virus. Wow, as soon as we started actually giving fucking tests to people, it's a pandemic. Maybe a lot of these people already had the virus, but you didn't have tests available. And that's why it's It's hard for me to buy a lot of the government numbers when the government can't give out tests. I think we're playing a game of race the cab driver. And now we're playing a game of the cab driver cuts Lewis off. Now we're playing a game of throw my bike lock through his window. Did I say that? I'm on camera. Shit. Yo, why are you driving on the white line in the road, you fuck? Drive in the left lane or the right lane. This is why liquor stores are not essential services. Let me submit I wish I had a 360 fucking camera because people can't see what I get pissed off at on the road from this angle. Like, you can't see the ridiculous ass way he was just driving before. All right. This is Broadway, and it's crazy how dead it is here. Let's take a look at Bleecker Street. Hey, Bleecker Street's probably gonna have some. Wow. It is totally fucking dead. Here we have Swatch to my right. It's a brand Mr. Scott Galloway wouldn't be caught dead wearing. Besides the wind and me talking, you may have noticed the immense quiet. And there is indeed a lot of quiet, this is an NYU town, so there's a lot of dorms to the universities here. And with college students comes drunks. But you'll notice that all the there's no drunks besides the ones in the Ubers and the taxi cabs, apparently. Here's Bowery over here. There's a bunch of bars and restaurants on Bowery. But as you can see, no people. Nothing. There's Phoebe's over there. See, that's Phoebe's down there. That's where a bunch of 19-year-olds with fake IDs go to get drunk on Saturday night. And as you can see, no 19-year-olds getting drunk with fake IDs. Totally empty. Kind of wondering how this is going to affect the fake ID business. If all the bars are closed, then there's not going to be as much need for kids to get fake IDs, less demand for it. Prices may go down there. Weird stuff that goes through my head. All right. So, yeah, this is nuts. Seeing this neighborhood entirely dead. This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. That's a Trek store. They make the bike that I'm on now. I really do want to figure out why this rear hub does this thing with high torque with the chain skips, because it doesn't on my other one. I have a dual sport 4. It never does that. A Roscoe 6 it does. Trek store is kind of like the Apple store of bikes. Very, 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 very prim and proper. Like, it's not what you expect from a bike shop in New York City. They go for the exact opposite look. It's like corporate, because when you walk in, it doesn't look like any actual work happens there. And they've clearly put a lot of effort into making it look like nothing happens there. Okay, that's a bunch of fishbowls up there. That's when an apartment costs $3,000 to $4,000 a month, is the size of a fishbowl, and has no privacy because it's got that ceiling and floor glass shit. So as soon as the formula goes something like this: take a shitty small apartment that would go for $900 to $1,300. Bring the ceiling, bring the glass in the window from the ceiling to the floor. Put some fancy schmancy looking appliances in it and then make it $4,000. Bam, profit off of yuppies that'll move in and go, look at how the amenities look. Oh, those are such nice amenities. Fuck that. Give me space. I like my apartment. About 1,100 square feet. Actual, like, Bosch meters, shit that you can measure. Nice 15-foot ceilings. I can listen to music as loud as I want. Nobody bitches. That's freedom. Fuck that amenity shit. You can give me a stove from 1960. I'll enjoy it. I want my oven to have a clock that blinks at me. And I want my refrigerator to have no brain, because if it does, it means I can't afford the damn apartment. Alright. Give me a place where I could listen to my Vandersteins at whatever volume I want anytime. Over that fishbowl shit. Alright, so this is what's called the Lower East Side right here. Lower East Side is where all a bunch more bars are really closely clustered together. You'll usually, again, find a bunch of 19-year-olds with their fake ID from the colleges finding their way down here. You got Arlene's Grocery, and there's another one, Pianos. These two places are, I forget if it's Arlene's Grocery or Pianos, that is run by some cokehead. I remember reading about that on the tape-op forums a long time ago. I kind of miss spending time in the tape-op forums. Those are the days I worked in music. But it was Arlene's Grocery, or it was Pianos. One of the above. Like, they pay the musician jack shit, but this is like 15 years ago, long time ago. Alright, everything here is totally empty, as you can see. There's nothing. Nobody is getting drunk right now. Nobody is having fun. Or maybe they're getting drunk at home. It's crazy to see this, isn't it? Look at this. There's nobody here. There's nothing. Alright, let's head over to the bridge. There's some art galleries over here. Yo, these people make... Look at this. He can afford what looks like, I don't know, like 1,800 square feet off of drawings. Drawings. With art, you're either usually rich or you're like, it's a very crazy curve. You're either really rich or really broke, but there's very little in between there. And if you're one of the dudes that could afford 1,500 square feet in the Lower East Side for pictures, I'm just saying you're probably on the top of that curve. There's a lot of people jealous of you. That's the creperie over there. There's one dude inside this little shop that makes crepes. There's usually one guy that sits there all day just making crepes for people. Very nice. Very nice guy. That is a place called Wolf Nights. It's one of the only places where you can get healthy food in the city really late at night. I like that place. I used to walk home a lot because the thing is, I could run home in like 38 to 44 minutes depending on what shape I'm in. Walk home maybe an hour. Late at night, the train could easily take an hour or more, and I just suck sitting there. So sometimes I'd walk home, and I'd stop by there on the way to get something that was healthy to eat. Because all this other shit around here is just going to kill you. The food is trash. It's like fast food shit. But all that's empty. This is Delancey. There's a lot of bars over to the right. But these are the bars where the people that want to pretend that they're more fancy go to. Like that oyster bar place over there. You'll see, or dinner on Ludlow, and there's another one I'm forgetting the name of. But there's a lot of places around here where this is where like the 19-year-olds with their fake ID that like, you know, are wearing $500 dresses go. That kind of thing. You'll see every now and then when I'm walking home and I walk along here, I'll see, you know, the people that want to look like we're sophisticated and going out in the night in the town. If a place has a line in order to get in, count me out of it. There's nothing on earth that's good enough to wait on a fucking sidewalk for. Not a new PlayStation, not a new iPhone, not some shithole that's going to charge you $120 for a bottle of alcohol you could have bought yourself at $20. I don't get the fucking appeal of those places, and I never will. Oh, okay. There's some new development happening to the right over there. So this here is the Williamsburg Bridge. This is what I usually take home at night. And we're gonna go over it and see who's on the bridge tonight. I met a therapist of mine in a bar over here, actually. It's probably why my relationship with that therapist didn't work out. You probably shouldn't meet your therapist at a bar. Lesson learned. It was, where was it? Shit, I forget which one. Actually, I can't read the sign. Huh, strange. There was a bar over there. Had an upstairs, I forget the name of it. Oh, the Delancey, that was it. Yeah. Yeah, there are many ways to go about meeting a therapist. If someone gives you a card at a bar and says they're a therapist, that's probably not the best way to do it. Anyway. Was one of those people that's like, and how did that make you feel? And how did this make you feel? And how did that make you feel? At the end of it, give me $200. It's hard to find a good therapist. At some point, I just kind of set, like 2 or 3 years in, I just settled. I accepted the fact that I'm insane. I just pretend that when my cat says meow, that she's saying, how does that make you feel? And she doesn't ask me for $200 at the end of it. All right. Props to the guy with no reflector on his bike in front of me. If people wonder why I point my light up like I'm trying to blind them, I'm not trying to blind you. I need to see all these fucking bikes that don't even have a reflector on them. Because if you have a reflector, the light that's bouncing off of the pavement will hit up and I can see you. All right. As you can see, the bridge is relatively empty. I wish I could point the camera to my left because the view over the bridge around the East River of all the buildings across in Brooklyn and Queens is absolutely astounding and beautiful. I actually think I can show it to you right now. Yeah, I probably can. Take a look. Yeah, it doesn't look the same because it's the bars. It looks like you're in prison. Speaking of prison, kind of wonder if there's going to be a police car at the end of my block. I wonder how that's gonna work. How is getting out of that gonna work in the morning? Gotta see. I'm on the way to being an essential service. I had a person come in earlier that said, my son's 11, he's starting school tomorrow over the internet. He's got to take his classes online. And his shit died because it was an Apple. It was an A1502 liquid, no drop, no nothing. CPU just died. No PM sleep S4L, not even pulsing, just straight 24 milliamps. Why? It's a MacBook. I told him you could probably get something done a little cheaper online if you want to buy a machine. But he can't, because his class is starting tomorrow. What are you doing on the fucking bike side of the bridge? This is the bike side. Walking side's the other side. I go honk with my horn, mofo. Vroom, vroom. Okay. All right, we're entering North Williamsburg. North Williamsburg is where the rich hipsters live. South Williamsburg is where the minorly affluent to middle class hipsters live. This is rich hipster right here. You'll see. I do not live here. I do not want to live in a little fucking fishbowl for $4,000. It is not appealing to me. Nor do I want to live in a rundown pile of shit for $2,600 just for the prestige of saying that I live in Williamsburg. Like living near hipsters is something that should have a fucking... premium attached to it or something. All right, this is the one I'm talking about with that fishbowl thing. So check, this is pure fishbowl right here. See these buildings? See this thing in front of me? This is a fishbowl complex. All that floor to ceiling glass shit up here. See that floor to ceiling glass shit? Really tiny space. Stupid amount of money. Fishbowl. I don't know why people choose to live in that shit. I could become a millionaire tomorrow. I would not live in that shit. I like my privacy. My curtains. Windowsill. Okay. Let's go. And vroom. Alright, what we're entering here is Jewish Williamsburg. Or as you people in my chat keep calling it because you don't know the difference, Amish Williamsburg. But they're not Amish, they're Hasidic Jew. There's a difference. Here we go, Lee Avenue. Look at that street, isn't it beautiful? All the garbage in it. Nasty shit. Paper and random bits of trash. The beauty of Brooklyn. This is why it costs a premium to live here. Don't you people from the Midwest feel so fucking jealous right now? Don't you feel so jealous that we get to live in roads that look like this and streets that look like this and in fish bowls? Don't you want to live in a fish bowl? Give up your nice 3,000 square foot house, your driveway, your lawn, your basketball court. So there's actually some steady traffic on this street. Interesting. I wasn't expecting this, but there is. Yes, fuck you. Somebody behind me is honking. He wants me to go faster. There is a speed limit of 20 miles an hour here. I'm going 27, but the car is honking. Go faster, go faster. Like, because I'm a bike, I can just fucking go on a ramp and fly above this car that's in front of me. Let me just go through him. You know what I noticed also when I went to Maine, even when I was in Albany, but also when I went to Maine and Maryland, cars actually stop for you. This one guy that was taking me around said, like, we were about to cross and there was no light, and I immediately stepped back because I didn't want to get run over, and the guy says, no, this isn't New York, you can actually cross, he's not going to hit you. And then the person in the car nodded and smiled in lockstep with the guy that said, no, you can go. I was amazed. Total opposite of this. Whew. But yeah, one of the things I learned from riding this bike with the motor is one of the reasons for speeding. It's not just that people want to get where they're going faster, it's that the person behind you will actually become violently angry with you if you go the speed limit. So even in places where I'll see a speed limit like 30 miles an hour and I'll be going 35, the guy behind me will be honking and bitching and mad, and then they'll start doing dangerous shit to try to get in front of you. So they'll do this dangerous thing where they try to cut you off in a very unsafe way. And, you know, I'm a bike, I'm not a car. If I get hit, it's not like I get a scratch. I'm dead. So, I am motivated to not be dead. Oh, by the way, this is the imaginary dividing line here. Flushing and Nostrand, you'll see that all the Hasidic Jewish people end and black people begin. But you will see that there are no Jewish people past this point and no black people past that point. It's very interesting how this works, how this is just like this imaginary line where everything just stops, even though it's not like a crossfade or anything like that. Anyway. But yeah, I've noticed that with speeding, is that they'll lose their mind, and they'll come up next to me, and they'll go, why the fuck are you there? You're a bike, you're not going fucking fast enough. And I go, dude, I'm going 5 miles over the speed limit, you fuckface. But it is what it is. So like, I could either do 40 miles an hour in a 30, so that the guy behind me doesn't get pissed off. I should actually stop over here, because My chain is rattling. Give me 1 second. I think my chain's starting to come off. Or you can drive the speed limit, in which case the guy's gonna get pissed off at you and rage and cut you off. Let's see, is that good? I believe that is. All right, time to go. Whew. So that's interesting. There's more traffic in Brooklyn than there is in Midtown Manhattan. Like Times Square, East Village, because even Times Square, that's touristy. I get if the touristy part is dead. But like East Village and all that other stuff, even that is somewhat residential, all of that area is totally dead. And Brooklyn actually had a little bit more traffic. This is Notion and Myrtle. So like back there, around where Flushing was, that's where Williamsburg ends and Bed-Stuy begins. Or if you're talking to a fuckface realtor, they'll start to call that South Williamsburg. I know they came up with this bullshit where they call Bushwick East Williamsburg. Williamsburg is desirable because it's a hipster area with parties and bars and a minorly lower crime rate, where Bushwick was a place for, like, on the news every night in the 90s, there'd be murder in Bushwick, murder in Bushwick. That's a long time ago, though. But yeah, they started calling it East Williamsburg instead of calling it Bushwick in the hopes that jackasses would pay Williamsburg rents for it. And it worked. It worked. Like many lies that the realtors and brokers tell. But I saw one ad the other day that said South Williamsburg, and I'm like, that's Bed-Stuy, you fuckface. It is not Williamsburg. Fucking. Oh. Woo-hoo. We're getting close to the beautiful place that I call home. All right, time to shut it off over here because, well, that's about it. I will see you all in another video. Thank you for joining me on this lovely bike ride around the city. Maybe I'll show you some other areas when I feel like taking the time to ride around, but my hands are actually kind of frozen right now, and I just like to go home. So, see you all later, and have a good night. Remember to wash your hands, wash your face, and wash your pee-pee bus.